Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations and Plugs. My name is Cliff.
Hi, everyone. My name is Wago.
And today on our podcast, I think, Wago, I find it very hard sometimes just introducing people. I don't know how they feel when they're being introduced. But
Yeah.
today we have with us who I'd say is, and I'm sure it's going to be debated, a serial entrepreneur, a corridor entrepreneur, but a man of who's entrepreneured his way through life across many industries. I know there's stuff around insurance, and yeah, marketing, entertainment. And so we're looking forward to having a good conversation with him today. So Peter Nduati, karibu sana.
Santi, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for actually honoring us as well.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things we were talking about with Wago is like, what are we going to ask Peter today? And I think maybe one of the things we want to start off with is, when your story is written,
Yes.
what will that be?
What do you want in it?
Yeah, what do you want that story to be?
So I've contemplated. I'm doing my book.
Okay.
And we are working out with titles.
Hey, a book,
So
a book.
Wow.
I thought the son of a butcher would have been the best line because it hooks you up. Because I cut my entrepreneurship teeth from entrepreneurship. However, if there's something I'd like people to talk about me when I'm gone, is how great a father I was.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I've been a single father for long. So that is what my aim is. That's what I'd like to be remembered. There'll be asharas. They'll be there, hopefully. But entrepreneurship it's a means to my purpose. And my purpose, I feel my purpose on earth was to love and share. And who do you love and share with most people is the people who, your progeny, the people you bring up into the world.
And here we are thinking that your purpose was to conquer
make
Africa
money.
in business.
Oh
and
no. To love and share.
Love and share.
That's it. That's my purpose.
Yeah, I like that very much.
Yeah. So why are you a serial entrepreneur? Why do you do all this?
I think entrepreneurship chose me. I actually didn't choose. Because I'm a fourth generation entrepreneur. Fourth.
Tell us about that. Yeah.
I was running in your family already.
Yeah. So from my great-grandfather, who started a slaughterhouse in Dagoretti in 1942.
Wow.
And so my folks have grown up in the meat business. And my nucleus family made a deliberate decision we will not be in the meat business. It's cutthroat. It's entrepreneurship. Now that's why it is.
It's like no pun intended.
And all that. It's cutthroat. So then I was admitted to uni to do medicine, and I ended up going to business school.
Yeah.
I just could not handle medicine. So I feel, because I understood the ability to take a product to market, to convert a product, to monetize a product. When I was a young kid, I was running a butchery in Form 2 in South Bay. So I already knew what needed when you get a cow, a goat in the morning. By the time 11 o'clock has come, calculate waste, calculate sales, calculate your margins, staff cost, and everything. At 14. So I don't think in our family we had a choice. It was predestined for us to become entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Are you all entrepreneurs?
Everyone. Although we are professionals, we have degrees of different kinds. but like my brother, who is a lawyer, I don't even think he practices law.
Oh, really?
My second brother is a pilot. My sister is an engineer. We don't really do those professional things.
Yeah.
We ended up hustling, setting up businesses, take product to market, creating employment, trying to create wealth. Yeah, but we still keep what you call like I'm an insurer.
Yeah.
So
you have your core.
That's my core. If someone asks me what's your profession is, I say I'm a chartered insurer.
Yeah.
But if you look at the work that I'm doing today, I've been in business for 21 years. I cannot tell you that I do much of insurance, although I've stake in two insurance companies. I sit on boards, I advise.
Yeah.
I do very, very many other things. Yeah.
When we had our chat,
yes.
Some of the things that struck out, like one of the things that struck out for me was what you said about being, you've been a successful entrepreneur in 4 political regimes.
Yes.
That's something that a lot of companies have failed at.
Right.
A lot of people have failed at. And also Africa is known as the volatile region, and
Right.
so nobody wants to be as agile and resilient in this region.
Yes.
And so you've done, I think from my research, I've counted about 9 businesses.
Yes. 5 sectors, not
5
businesses. So, the people don't know failures. So, in existence right now, I'm in 9 businesses.
9 businesses.
Currently.
Yeah.
But have a string of failures. I probably I've never counted. Maybe I've registered in Kenya alone over 20 businesses.
Kerry is just like him again.
I did, yeah. There was a time I won an award for highest taxpayer, individual taxpayer in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was whose administration?
That was Kibaki.
No,
No, it was
that
Uhuru.
Uhuru's, yeah.
Oh, 2015,
They give
that's
you an
Uhuru.
award, like a plaque.
They're
Yeah.
like, well done, good and faithful citizen.
Yeah. But I know where you're heading to. I try and set up businesses to be political agnostic. It's not easy.
Yeah. Especially because you're in 3 markets now.
Yes.
In Africa.
In Africa, I mean,
Yes.
markets, yeah. But you design your business to be politically agnostic, but you still have to engage with the regime that is
Yes.
there.
Because those are different economic strategies.
But this is the worst in the period that I've survived.
Really? Not
Oh,
even
yeah.
the first president?
Oh, no. So Moi, because during Moi's regime, the first business I ever set up was a spa, a hairdressing salon. Moi would never have been interested.
No.
When the president knows you is when you reach a particular level. When you LTO, large taxpayer office, that's when the regime knows.
The regime knows you very well. They're like, that's that
and
guy.
currently, actually, only one of my businesses is in that category.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the alcohol distribution business.
Yeah, but then again, what does that look like in terms of, because I know whether you're talking about setting up businesses that are resilient and agnostic, regardless of regime.
Yes.
And then there's also in terms of lessons that you've learned, because I know we touched on one of the things that you said was COVID taught you a very important lesson in terms of how you've set up your companies.
My companies,
Yeah.
yes.
And in terms of which sectors that you'd actually invested in.
Yes.
So those 2 things, so how do you set up a business to be agnostic? I know you have to engage with the regime, but what does that look like?
Yeah.
Like I think Wago and I are looking at it and we're like, actually, that's pretty brilliant. Like you have survived 4 regimes and it's not a joke, right? And these are real businesses.
It was deliberate, yeah.
And I'm not knocking down tenderpreneurs.
Yes.
Who, of course, once regimes change, your fortunes
to
change as well. Like, what does that look like? How do you go about building such businesses? And yeah.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Because school of hard knocks, you get challenged, you have to sacrifice, because if I wanted to be wealthier than I have been, I would have been if I engaged with politicians. And I've been wooed and approached even to take roles in like the last regime. I was offered 4 jobs. I would have been the CEO of NHIF if I wanted to.
Oh, for real?
But CEOs leave NHIF and go straight to jail. So I turned it down. So what you do is appreciate the value of the political front, understand that they're there, look for different ways how to engage them. It's not that I don't engage with them.
Yeah.
So I've set up a process and a structure where if I need access to a particular politician and I want a particular outcome, I make it a legal issue. So I get a good connected lawyer to deal with that. So if there's anything that needs to be done at that level, it's done legally. They know this is my representative. Yeah, that's what I do. But you can never miss it. I mean, I've just come from one of those lunches.
I see.
Yeah.
But it's something that you have to live with.
I have to deal with. The issue is, imagine if I aligned myself to the past regime. I'd be struggling now. If I had aligned myself with the Kibaki regime, even when I give to politicians, I give publicly and I give all of them.
But I don't get it. Like
donations,
I think that really I struggle with is, it's true. Like especially now, I don't know whether it's an African thing, but where you get to a certain business level and people see that you're succeeding, whether it's the powers that be, that all of a sudden you attract quite a lot of interest.
They will come.
They will come.
And they come.
And they come.
Yes.
Like, is that an African thing? Like,
no.
Is that an African narrative?
You know,
I
have a business interest in Maryland, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Same thing.
Really?
It's not African.
And what is it? Like, how our society is set up. Like, what is it that, because I struggle as well. It feels like when I start my business and it starts being successful, there's just this cloud just watching over you. And I'm just
Yes.
like, but I'm just making money. I've identified a problem and I'm just solving
yes,
it. But why the hell are you in my business?
Yes. But it doesn't matter which place in the world. Can you imagine if we are in China?
Okay.
Yeah, you just have, as a business person, first of all, appreciate it's there and they'll be in your space.
Yeah.
It's like grief.
Yeah.
You have to hurt first before you work through it. The same thing with
And it's the
politicians.
politics of it all.
Yeah. You just have to.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's what I've done.
Yeah.
I pride myself in the fact that I do not work with politicians, but
Yeah.
really I do.
Yeah.
It's just how I've structured to put 1 degree of.
It's an inevitability.
Yes.
It's there.
It has to come, and also you need licenses.
Yeah.
You need favors.
Yeah.
Especially in this country, you need to unlock issues. You will have to. Can't work in a slaughterhouse. Don't get a drop of blood in your clothes. Or a slaughterhouse, knowing that I've worked in one.
Lol.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a question of mine that's still lingering around COVID, and
Yes.
and your favorite and your favorite word, pivoting.
Pivoting.
I literally wrote that down when I
really?
thought about
Pivoting.
you because you're a pivot.
Yeah. So if you spoke to me in 2019 this time, I thought I was well invested. I was very liquid. And in fact, I was working on now self-actualization. That's when I started writing my book. And the things I wanted to do.
You're like, Mama, we made
Travel.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. If you asked me in 2019, I thought I made it until COVID. And I knew for sure that I wasn't well invested towards the end of 2020. Because then I was in 7 different sectors. And in those sectors, they all required people to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So apart from real estate, but if you think about it, even then, we in the properties that I owned, I had to give rent breaks, drop what people are paying. So work with your tenants, and some of them are commercial. So think about, I'm in the marketing space. I'm involved in an agency where I'm the leader. And that agency does activations. To activate a product, people need to come together. I'm in music. And I used to organize concerts and produce sound.
Gone.
We couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm in sports. I produce sports. And that time we were doing a lot of golf, a lot of rugby.
Gone.
Gone. Biggest business. I'm an alcohol distributor in Southern Anza. And that's where all the strains of COVID were coming from. But restaurants were opened in other parts of Kenya.
Yeah.
And I used to think, am I cursed? Why is my territory the one? And that hit me hard. So now, companies are getting back, hybrid working. For me, it's my CEOs telling me, Chairman, we need capital to do that. We need capital to do that. Did I say I thought I was well invested?
Yes.
The capital went in a minute. 2021, towards the end, I would struggle even to put fuel in my car because I took my savings, they are gone. And then banks were not lending. So what do you do? In fact, some of my facilities were recalled.
Letter pesate.
Oh my goodness. It was a tough. But then I've never, the hardest thing in working with banks. So let me tell you, before 2018, never walked into a bank. Bankers used to come to me. Now I'm the one who goes to them to the end. And I can tell you, I've not had a meeting, apart from one bank where I've met a CEO.
Yeah.
These days I deal with compliance. Most of the times it's compliance
Have
department.
you paid?
Yeah. No, not even the first I got listed on CRB is during that period. Because now I don't know, I'm defaulting on things. It was a very difficult time.
Oh, really?
And even though we think we have recovered from COVID, this country hasn't recovered from COVID.
Yeah.
We are now riding out of it. So the next phase of my life is to ensure that I invest well.
Okay.
And I'm doing it well by diversification. One of the harder parts about how I make my investments is I pay school fees. I have to understand the business I'm getting into. So let's say I wanted to invest in this business. I'll probably have to sit with the owner or the competitor for a while and spend time, and they mentor me and I understand. So I don't just jump in
I like that analogy. You pay school fees.
Paying school fees, yes.
Yeah.
You have to pay. You can't just invest on a business that you don't understand. And I take this lesson from my first business. Remember, I started a spa and
Salon.
and a salon. But it came from an idea about beauty. And I lost money because the beauticians, I'm told this equipment has broken. We need to send another one from Dubai. How do I understand? So I just used to give money like that. So these days, before I get into a business, I have to understand it. Not 100%, because I won't run it, but I have to make sure that I know what's going on, and enough that I don't read a dashboard. I can actually go in and tell the CEO I'm going to run this business for a while. Yeah.
And so any business that you start, you can't start it. Because
I'm thinking to me
thinking
the business idea that you want me to invest. So I've structured my investment in two ways. So I and three friends have a fund. And we were doing early stage, but now we are doing Series C and Series B and Series C. That to me, it's not investing in your business. I've invested in this fund. This fund is structured. So my part is in that business. Now that business has to understand your business. But now we have people. Yeah, we have CFAs. We have people. In fact, you have to have a CFA because they are the ones who structure the deal, and then we have lawyers. So what do? I sit on the governance stage in that particular fund. Now, if I was to count the businesses we've invested in that fund, no, there'll be more than 9 sectors. Yeah.
Why did you start that fund? Because that sounds like systems. That sounds like process. You're protecting yourself and your brand. Why did you start that fund?
Because I struggled in raising money in my first business. Really, really struggled. It took me 18 months to raise $40 million. But can you imagine 2001 how much money was?
Yeah.
So
somebody's just saying, did you say 40 million day?
Yes.
18 months.
It took me 18 months.
It's like that's rolling off the tongue. Like,
I know.
yeah, we deal with $40 million. Yeah.
At that particular time.
Yeah.
And I realized raising $1 million shillings and raising $1 billion shillings takes the same energy.
Oh, really?
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And time.
And time.
Yeah, takes the same energy. So you might as well raise more, okay?
Yeah.
And prepare a runway for the future.
Yeah.
And all the business I am in, where I'm either a chairman or a shareholder, my job is capital adequacy. That's what I review. My numbers, capital adequacy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us in business run out of money.
Yeah.
And you ask yourself, but I raised money. We never anticipate trading period. You never anticipate people don't pay on time. You're not anticipating such things. And then you wake up. Then another thing we do as Kenyans, you don't pay yourself. Founders rarely pay themselves. It's just something that I love.
You have to work for the business. I mean, come on. You have to don't pay.
No. So my rationale,
you're a slave to your business.
Yeah.
is pay
Me
the founder first.
Yes.
You see,
Yeah.
let's assume you work for me.
Yeah.
If you work for me and you fall sick,
Yeah.
I can borrow money from her to pay for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I'm sick, so
Yeah.
you pay. You should pay the founder or
always.
the leader first.
Yeah.
Make sure they are comfortable, because they are the ones who will hustle and
Yeah.
get in the business. So that's my approach.
I have a question for you, because I think, and I see it on two fronts. One, we had a guest here, and because of just talking about it, there is this glorification that comes with being called an entrepreneur.
We romanticize it. It's not
Yeah.
that romantic,
Right? Thanks.
Yes.
I mean, and it's a thing. And this girl was talking about how, like, I don't get it. I'm just a normal person.
Yes.
But immediately I was called CEO or whatever. My life changed, even in the village.
Yes.
And then secondly, tied to that is another romanticization of, say, for example, these Series A, Series Bs. And one of the things that he was talking about is, and I love, because I've heard you talk about it, is solve a real problem. The money will come.
Yes. My approach to life, human beings have so many problems. Fix one.
Yeah.
Once you identify a human problem and you fix, the money will come.
Peter, let's walk through one of those scenarios with one of your businesses,
Right.
where you saw a problem,
Yes.
and then you chose to fix it.
Yeah. I'm most known by Resolution.
Yeah.
It was called Resolution Health then. So I was in the insurance industry for a long time. one of the challenges
When you say you were in the insurance industry,
I am.
You were employed.
Yes.
You were working.
Yes.
I think people really forget that.
That you did corporate.
That you 12 years at AAR.
12 years at AAR,
Yes,
actually, yeah.
I just didn't go to insurance. And before then, I've worked for a company called Canon Assurance. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Yes. I've worked. I've been a broker for 6 months.
Man.
Yes. I worked for Liaison Insurance Brokers.
He sold
You cut your
insurance.
teeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, my qualification is I'm a technical insurer. I underwrite. I can take risk on this building and give you a price. But I became a salesman when I left the first insurance company because I used to be an underwriter, and I enjoyed the commercial side of it. But back to my issues. You are young enough, yet old enough. You are not even sure that in the year 2000 in Kenya, you could not insure gynecological conditions. Oh yeah, a woman who had a gynecological could not get insurance. Maternity was not covered by anybody. HIV/AIDS was not covered. I keep raising my flag and I said, I came into a space where women were ignored. And if you look at my businesses, are female-led and female by personification.
Yes. Well
by
done.
personification. In fact, when I set
Gender
up Resolution
intentional.
Health at that time,
Yeah.
when we decided personify the business, we said, young lady, professional, either she was in advertising, banking, or legal. She lives in Kileleshwa. At that time, she drives the RAV4 and used to read Eve magazine. And on Saturdays, she'll do her nails.
And true love. True love and Eve.
So we had to walk through the journey of this year person between the age of 28 and 35 and walk through them. What she goes for blankets and wine. I have to be at blankets and wine. You get? You have to be very deliberate.
But that's so
when
crazy, Peter.
Yes.
Like in terms of, I mean, I like that you talk about being deliberate because the other person who was here was like Kevin, who talked about how he actually literally went and found a problem.
Yes,
right.
Yeah.
Write it down, and I like that you talked about personas. But a lot of guys just start. I'll just start a car wash.
Company. No, you need to personify your business. It's an individual.
Your customer.
And no.
Your business.
Business.
Look at your business and think of it as a person. Where do they live? What are their interests? Let me take you. Okay, you've curated who you hang out with, who you have access to. So if I want to sell something to you, so I need to understand that part.
Yes.
But then my brand values need to match your brand values, otherwise we'll not work together. Now, insurance is the most boring thing ever in the world. I tried to make it sexy.
I worked in insurance, by the way. Now that I remember.
Back then.
I used to wear very big suits.
Yeah.
And collars.
Yeah, and pointy
In
shoes.
fact, I stopped wearing suits
Yes.
in insurance. People were telling me, I was a CEO of an insurance company. Then when I started wearing suits, I started wearing the weirdest colors.
What colors?
Colorful. That's white.
I don't wear. You'll never see me with a black suit.
What?
Navy or gray.
Insurers are fainting right now.
You see now? So, but I managed to do it.
Yes,
and
you did.
Even the countries where I am doing insurance right now, I don't wear ties. I'll go to a meeting like that. So are you interested in how I dress on my brain? But it was also, I was considered a maverick in the insurance industry. Everyone was telling me, you want to cover maternity. You're going to lose money. But
How?
We made money.
With the birth rates in Kenya?
No. You see, maternity is not considered insurance per se. Because when a lady conceives, in 9 months or so, she'll give birth.
Yes.
You can save money every single month. It's not unforeseeable.
Sort of. Yeah.
So insurance tries to cover the unforeseen and unforeseeable. You don't know when you
so
leave
now
here
you're
whether you have an accident.
Yes.
Now you're
Maternity
covering
really, once conception comes, you can plan for it. But I took that risk for the simple reason that I was making my business female-centric. Let me think about your dad. Your dad would buy insurance for a company and anakuja nyumbani then gives you a card. You know the insurance yenu.
Yeah.
He will not even explain details and the benefits. If it's a woman who sells it, at dinner she'll sit down and says, Sasa insurance, you do this is where you go. It doesn't cover this, it doesn't cover that. And that's who you are looking at.
Dang.
People who influence decisions. And so when I went to start this business, of course, I was young. I was 30. And even though I had paid school fees, I'm learning the industry. What I didn't understand is capital raising, the nuances of stakeholder management, regulator. And I fight authority. I've lived my life fighting authority.
It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Yeah.
Do the thing. And if even the current insurance regulator, if it was us, he must have said, this is one of the principal officers who gave me most headaches. I launch a product and I tell him, okay, I'm sorry, but So that I'm considered successful. And the reason why I used to be branded a corridor entrepreneur is I made that business success, took money out 3 times, and invested in other businesses. Now I'm comfortable with cereal.
Now you're comfortable with cereal. You made the transition,
I do different things. I do, and I've already positioned myself that I don't want to be a CEO. I don't think I'm CEO.
So now you're just investing and just enjoying the.
I don't mind being a vision carrier.
Okay.
Though.
Okay.
But I don't want. So recently, at True Black, where I'm the chairman, our CEO went away on maternity leave.
Yeah.
And the board said, "Chairman, why don't you step down and you run?" And I did it for 6 months. That has proven to me that I'm not CEO material. HR, oh my goodness. Oh.
People.
Yeah. And excuse my French, the bullshit that comes in a corporate. that I have to wear kids' gloves when I'm dealing with people. I can't call out their bullshit, and I have to be motivating them when I'm paying them. HR, I do struggle. I do struggle with that. Give me a problem to deal with.
Oh yeah.
But don't give me those vague issues that I have to. Culture.
Yeah.
And I've done all those things in the past.
Yeah.
Not now. Not in my 50s.
Okay. Feels like you're self-actualizing it's like there's layers to entrepreneurship.
Yes.
It feels like you're just sort of laddering up.
So a lesson, again, a recent lesson. And I think I mentioned to you guys when we were having tea.
Yeah.
If you look at the Forbes top 50 in the world, they all made their monies in their 50s.
Oh, yeah.
All in their 50s. Some even started their businesses in their 60s.
Yeah.
They are outliers, of course, technology, Facebook.
I mean, and that you can trace back to the time.
Correct.
Yes. The time, they were born.
Preparation.
One of the things, and I don't know how we're going to change it, is in this country that there are guys in their 30s who want to live my lifestyle. They want to live where I live, drive the car, travel. How? It's not. Unless
we want it now, Peter. We want it now.
It won't happen.
Unless
don't get me wrong.
Unless the bank owns it.
No. Don't get me wrong. There are ideas out there.
Yeah.
That can make people a lot of money, being very innovative, right? But wealth comes from resilience and time. Now, so there are guys I see in the streets driving the same kind of car I drive, but it's owned by a bank.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because of you want to live like the Joneses, and that's why you're seeing all these wash issues happening. Now, I believe if I was ever going to be wealthy, the next 10 years. I understand the space. I've done my lessons. I've had serious failures. Now I'm being deliberate that whatever I'm building, when I'm not paying school fees, thank God. Kids have left
done
home,
with that.
empty nested. Yes.
Yes.
It's me and the dogs.
Yeah.
So this phase, and I have the energy. So, and the intellect. And now I can buy what I don't have. Brighter people and all that. So by the time I'm 65, I'll achieve my number.
What's your number?
I can't tell you my number.
But it's a number.
But previously I already achieved my number.
Yes, I told you.
Yes.
I
achieved my number in 2017.
Yeah.
Can we know that number?
My target was $25 million. I needed to make sure that I have $25 million net worth.
Okay.
But I achieved it. Then you wake up one day, it's gone.
Gone. The balance sheet is...
Today I don't even know whether my net worth is even near 10% of that. But what I've done is I've built a pipeline of businesses that in the longer term will give my estate those particular numbers. Yeah. So my number for by the time I'm 65, I don't know what that number is going to be. The dollar has changed. But also, a lesson I was telling my business partner last night, I've learned how to live on very little. The last 2 years I've survived.
You and your dogs?
Even my dogs.
Okay.
I'm an animal person. You survive on so like okay, it's in the media that I own horses, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm getting out.
No way.
Yes. For 2 years, I'm selling. They're in the market, they're gone.
Okay, why?
Because cost and time.
Yeah.
Then the place where I used to stable my horses, family place, is being sold. So I'm getting out of that. But coming back to the survival. See, corporate, especially in leadership, can really spoil you.
Yeah.
You know where you give your PA the credit card statement, it's paid, you don't even know it was paid. I wake up, I want to go to London and tell my PA, I want to go
business
tomorrow.
class, please. First class.
First class business class
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
Because we don't have many first class seats from
Business class, yes, you're right.
Business class.
Kenya. And I go. And I just, my last born child, one day put a pin on the map and say, this is where we are going to go.
Yeah.
On holiday. Now, it would be crazy for me to live like that. And I'm glad I live that kind of life.
Yeah.
So that you don't thirst over it. You've done it. You've been there, done there.
So I'm not
bought the
excited
t-shirt.
about such things.
Yeah.
Now, when I look at my survival cost per year this year, it's probably used to be what I used to spend in a month 5 years ago. But you remember, you were born naked. You came with nothing. That's a lesson you need to realize. So I usually say, my businesses can all die today. I can lose everything, but I'll start again. There's a lesson that I read somewhere that if you take today's wealth in the world and you divided it by the population of the world,
it will all go back to the same
in
guys.
5 years, the same people who are wealthy
will be wealthy.
Because the wealth is not a mistake. It's not a mistake. It is deliberate. How many people have you seen who have inherited?
And lost.
Gone.
Yeah. Or caught up in succession rules. Yeah.
Jambu farmers.
Yeah.
They die.
Coffee.
People sell that land. And
your kids are just like, we don't feel like doing any. Yeah.
So as an entrepreneur, because I've understood that my purpose is to solve human problems.
Okay.
Human problems are not going to end.
No, they won't.
Who would have known? I mean, in my 50s, my daughter works in a digital agency. 20 years ago, what's a digital agency? It never have existed.
That's true.
In fact, my mother calls it anafanya social media.
Yes.
That's not what she does. Or the fact that I have people who work for Pine Creek Records and they survive on music. My parents were told me there's no way in Kenya you can make money from music.
Yeah.
But the creative space right now, creative space and gig entrepreneurship is huge.
And it keeps evolving because now AI is
and
back.
it's changing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember watching you at I think St. Autonomy thing where you're talking about the 15 businesses that will not be here.
Many of them are not.
Yes.
And I was laughing. I was looking at it. I was like, I remember you're talking about AI chatbots 10 years ago.
Yes.
And I'm like, when looking at it now, I was just like, anyway, people just need to read a lot as well.
About
a
travel agency.
A travel agency. I remember you talked about that.
When call a travel agency to book anything.
Yeah.
That's so
or taxis.
that's so true. That
and
was
then
wiped
also remember,
out.
airlines no longer pay travel agencies commissions. They make money from other things.
Yes.
Some of a PA. Okay. I no longer have a PA, but what's the purpose of a secretary? Remember, we had secretaries.
Oh, yeah.
We used to type.
A typist.
Yes. And people who write in shorthand.
yeah, that's true. Oh my God, that
Have
has
you ever
changed
seen shorthand?
No. That one went to
you have
secretarial. That one
used
went to
shorthand.
secretarial school.
Yes. Yeah.
And at all time you need to anticipate.
Correct.
What's the next big thing?
I was talking to my niece and she doesn't know what a stamp is.
Of course not.
Of course
Yeah.
not. That's a generation
Yeah.
that has made the leap.
20-year-olds, they don't know what
They will never know.
Or PowerPoint slides.
Yeah.
They were called
Facts.
slides because they had to be slid. You slide it off the projector and put on the other one, and
You
that's
didn't
how.
know that?
I didn't know that.
That's what we used to do.
Yeah.
Dang, that was ghetto.
There's something.
We didn't have anything
No,
else.
we
Yes.
didn't.
Uh-huh.
There's just hearing you talk a lot, and I think one of the things, even why we started this podcast, I think, is to demystify a lot of things around entrepreneurship. Secondly, is just to tell a different narrative around African entrepreneurs and tell African stories in unique ways. If I dial in on some of the stuff that you're talking about in terms of your business, sounds like, allow me to be technical, use a technical term, not technical really, but just to label what you've said is, sounds like you have found a repeatable model of how to birth your businesses and how to sustain them.
To sustain.
Number two, I couldn't help also but notice every time you keep talking, you keep saying things like, I have built processes and systems. And for me, it just feels like that's been the bane of my life in a lot of businesses that I've worked in as well. And it seems like people don't understand how important it is to build those things that you don't have, like, you know, I've built a repeatable model. This business will sustain if I put the system. What does that look like, Peter? Like, what is that you're building? Help us make it tangible in terms of what is that?
So, businesses, we pretend are run by people. Businesses are run by rules. And that's where you need processes and systems.
Correct, yeah.
So there's some soft things like culture, but still a process.
Yeah. It is, actually.
And you need to anticipate and design it, before you actually get into it. So most people who come to me for mentorship, they come with an idea. I normally tell them, the first question I normally ask them, tell me what success looks like. And most people look like,
I need to make money.
We need to make money.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Second, question I always ask people is, exit. What's your exit plan?
Get off the lion before the lion bites you.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your exit? You look at me like, am I supposed to exit?
But are people supposed to know that?
Yes.
Oh, really? Yeah.
This information is on the internet. I didn't create it. It's on the internet. You need exit, not necessarily sell.
Yeah.
But when does your business not need
you anymore? When are you no longer a slave to your business also? Yeah.
I'm sitting here. Alcohol is still being sold in Kisi.
Correct.
I haven't ordered alcohol from Diageo, but it's
moving.
People are selling. Still, you need dashboards. You need a good ERP system to be able to access. You still need to be able to touch people. You still need to scale. You still need to build culture. You still need to reward. But those are soft. The hardcore of any businesses is processes, systems, and the rules that you build.
And the fundamentals stay the same.
And now today,
yeah,
many of these things can be sorted out by technology.
And they're that cheap.
Very,
yeah.
Very, very
they're very
easy.
Affordable now, actually.
Exactly. So that's one of the issues. The part that people don't talk about is you waking up at 2 a.m., anxiety, and next week, end of the month, is the worst time as an entrepreneur.
You're not the only one who said that. Every entrepreneur who's just at that, just like...
Because I can tell you, I've already started engaging this week with CEOs on my businesses. And I already know the two businesses that are not going to meet their payroll. I already know.
You have to fund them.
Yes. So I either have to fund them
or find money.
Find money to
by
fund
next
them.
week, Wednesday.
And I try not to
Tuesday.
borrow from that company to this one.
Yeah.
Because even though the group owns them, they need to stand by
They need to be distinct as well.
Remember I talked about capital adequacy?
Yeah.
That's my job. So they have to give me that. So I deal with stakeholder management. So regulators, bankers, benchmarking for competition, all that. That's my job. I also deal with carry. You may have a CFO, but whenever we have a tax assessment, I get involved personally. That I do. Then I get involved in governance. So nomination of directors, motivating them, compensating them, getting rid of them. That's my job.
I like the last one where you're like getting rid
then
of
you
them.
have to. That's the third thing that I'm doing, and I've gone now below recruitment of people who report to me. So CEO, CFO, and maybe Chief Risk Officer, to people who report to them. I may not make the decision, but I get involved in the last interview. I'll engage them. Because if you're the vision carrier, culture also becomes part of you.
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
What we haven't done in Kenya, and it's something that we need to teach entrepreneurs, is sole proprietors need to understand that they need to allow other people in their businesses. And that's governance. You need independence in your board. You need people who can call you out and can stop you from making what I call irrational exuberance decisions.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you own a business and you're making a lot of money, you can make some stupid, like I have, you can make some stupid decisions. So you need someone who can tell you, Chairman, no, we.
But you have to do that. You have to be intentional around governance, and you're right. A lot of businesses do not know at what point to get in a third party.
Yes.
A lot of people assume a board is expensive, or you have to.
People are
legal.
To
people
serve.
are willing.
People are willing to serve him for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I start with governance first.
Governance. What does that look like in terms
and
of
how
governance?
soon into the business do you start to bring it?
Oh, at business plan stage. I start with governance at business. I already have identified how the chairman would look like. And I'm very intentional that I go to tribe, gender. So I already know this business will have people of this age, and these are the skills. They either have to have government affairs, skills that I don't have. If I decide, okay, I need a director who is legal, I decide, okay, they're going to be this age, this gender. That far, race also.
Why?
Because for governance to succeed, you need to bring diversity. And then you may think you know your customers, but you can't know everybody and have so you need other people at leadership level. And of course, the final one is experience. But again, you do not want to set up a board of serial board members who have sat in Nairobi Stock Exchange in their 70s and they have that experience. You need to bring in younger people.
Train them how to be board members.
And then you say, and be honest with the people you are recruiting to your boards. The reason I am bringing you is because you are cute. Be open. Or you are an Asian and I want to penetrate that space. Because they'll cut you out eventually. So I start at business plan stage. Right now, I'm working on an insurance plan. And I already have started engaging with the board members. We still haven't even finished raising money. You have to do those things earlier. Once they sign up, first you give them roles to start handling now. HR, my weakness.
Yes.
You make sure you get a strong person who understands people, recruitment, and being that. And people are willing to serve. What do we do as Kenyans? You bring your buddy. I call Auka and tell Auka, I want you to come and join my board. That's okay. But him only. You need to make sure that the other people are people you don't even have relationships with, and you need to cast your net very, very
Where do you meet them? Just think
the
of
thing
somebody.
I do good to excellent is networking.
Yeah.
I could look for you. We have lunch, but I'm going to hit you in 3 years. I need you in 3 years' time. I start learning you early. Okay? And people will tell you. I can sit you guys within an hour and I'll get your network and I know that I get something there. People are willing to serve.
If you ask.
Yeah, but you need to go and look.
I think that the key word is also leveraging your relationships, because you can know people, but you need to learn when to pull that lever and when not to. Yeah.
So challenge number 1 is that one. Challenge number 2, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Entrepreneurship is
some of these things, comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
And you're like, man, this, yeah.
So,
what is it?
So if I take a full day, even today, the decisions I've made without data. Because you don't have enough data. And yet, people expect you to make a decision. So you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because that decision could be very far-reaching. Okay? As you grow, you need to make like 4 big decisions in your life as a businessman. But as you're building, you're making on the go, you're making tough decisions on people, financial decisions, scaling, clients' decision. Who do we let go? Who do we bring in at any single time? You cannot do that in comfort. Okay? And then we have that 3 a.m. I don't know about you guys. Me, 3 a.m. I'll wake up every single day. And when you wake up, you open your eyes, your problems are sitting there waiting for you.
You're awake now. Let's talk. Yeah.
Your mind started buzzing immediately. So you have to be comfortable with anxiety.
Yeah.
And there's no entrepreneur who has never struggled with anxiety.
Yeah.
Because you're waking up tomorrow to what?
Yeah.
Okay. The one lesson that I've taken, which is very personal to me, and it's from my mother, it is one sunset. My mother told me a long time ago, I was so stressed the time I got auctioned. And then she asked me, don't make a decision today. Just give it one sunset, goes home, sleep. Tomorrow, nothing would have changed. The problem will still be there.
What home are you going to? What home are you going to?
I'm very comfortable with it. And I normally say, when I wake up at 3 a.m. and I find that problem waiting for me,
you're like,
is there anything I can do about it right now? No.
I'll see you later.
Yes, why am I thinking about it? but it takes
Yeah.
training.
Yeah.
Resilience.
Resilience is the word.
Yeah.
You have to. You produce your. Now I don't worry about it.
I find one of the things. See, I've been in employment and done other things as well. We tend to. Is it a Kenyan thing or it's an African thing where we are not building big enough brands? And I keep referencing this thing. I need to find that article. I think probably it was Bitangi and Demo who had penned an article around how any Kenyan that you ask will open a salon, a kiosk. There's nothing wrong with that, but we never scale.
No,
or we don't know how to scale. So how do we then get guys to build bigger businesses?
Yes.
One, and then I see that you have a footprint in Africa. What does that look like? And what were you thinking in terms of what kind of brand were you building across Africa? And I mean, what lessons have you learned and how have you penetrated those markets? How have you moved out of here? Because sometimes I feel, even in some of the business I'm involved in, is you get into a market sometimes is not even ready for your product. Secondly, the market is so small sometimes, and you feel like the only way to scale is actually you need to move out. Again, because perhaps it's just Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, or whatever that you can actually land your product or service. But you feel if you moved capital cities, then the market expands as well.
Yes.
So what does that look like? Or what are your thoughts? And I'll tell that maybe to you even giving back to entrepreneurs and stuff, because I remember seeing how passionate you are around sharing knowledge and stuff. What does that look like for you? Or what visions do you have? Or what lessons, or what can you share around that?
Okay. So let me first explain about the African economic landscape.
Yeah.
At any single time, there's a territory that is doing well.
Oh, yeah?
And everyone starts running there.
Oh, yeah?
In Africa, at any single time.
And is it...
Like now Tanzania is doing really
Yes.
well.
Tanzania, Rwanda is doing well.
Tanzania and Rwanda
is doing well.
So you best be there.
Everyone goes there. But that is shooting from the hip.
Okay.
Because scaling is something you decide early enough.
How early?
From the beginning.
Peter.
When you're talking about
what's this beginning?
what does success look like? For example, I registered Resolution Health East Africa Limited in one room in courthouse in town. In fact, people used to ask me, hey, divisions of Granda.
You're dreaming.
Yeah.
Yes. And I targeted my exit then. You could fail, but you need to aim at when time you want to. When do I sell this business? When do I exit from this particular business? How long should I be CEO? And I quickly, but on the 10th year, I had already recruited my successor and they were working, but they didn't know they were going to succeed me. So in the last 5 years before I sold the business, I was not CEO. I was not involved in the business. But let's talk about scaling. So again, scaling is not something of surprise. The reason why I'm talking about a place doing better than the other is because when Kenya is struggling, Tanzania is doing okay.
And Uganda.
So you need to hedge your bets early. Then, and the trick about scaling is again understanding culture of the places you want to invest in.
Right.
I'm looking at Zambia and Malawi right now.
Okay.
And I'm looking at them on the insurance side.
Okay.
So I wouldn't walk into Zambia and Malawi and buy an insurance company or set up. I'm visiting. I've gone, I've spoken at Rotaract meetings. I've engaged with business entrepreneurs. I've gone to the chambers of commerce. I've engaged with the regulators. And in those countries, by the way, to see a president is very easy. You can just, as an entrepreneur, especially Kenyan, they will see you.
Yeah.
They can even pick you up from the airport. So you do those things early.
Yeah.
I went in as a Kenyan business in Sudan, not South, Khartoum. I set up in Khartoum.
Oh, for real?
Yes. Tough, very difficult market. I went to Ethiopia.
What, you just go register a business? I mean,
no.
Is it first landscape
you
studies?
First go and do, yes. That's what you go and do and meet people. How do you tell that a country is doing well? No, don't read this business news. Go in there. You can tell. You say you can do this and you feel money. Like Tanzania right now. Tanzania? Yeah. So you need to think, okay, if you don't, if you want to build a global business,
Yeah.
right? Of course, you start in your corner, in your garage.
Yeah.
But you need to start thinking global.
Okay.
How will my business look like when I get to North Korea?
What?
Yes. What stops your business growing, becoming a global business, and you have a presence globally? Does Apple target North Korea? I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm
The
sure
products
they do.
will make their way there either
Yes.
way.
And then you start thinking, in this particular market, you need a local person. Who is that local person I need to work with? In this particular person, I need a politician. Who is that politician?
That's vision. That's casting a
But
large
you
net.
need to think much, much further.
So you can't start saying, I'm starting a small business, because it'll always be a small business if you call it a small business.
See, I struggle with that a small business, because business is about growth. So when you start small, you're already putting yourself down.
Yeah.
So I have a philosophy that business is about scaling, number one. And number two, that anything that I build is for sale. Everything is for sale. And understand from the word go how to monetize.
You don't get attached.
One,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No attachment. How do I monetize my time? Think about every day, whatever I'm doing. Because if it's downtime, you're going for a drink with your friend.
Yeah.
Think about it monetarily. So you are actually investing in your friendship, right? And then you're investing in your downtime to relax. But also in friendships is when you find out what's going around in your space, and then you get concrete feedback. It sounds bad that everything is monetized, but that's life. Money drives the economy and drives our lives. So you have to think about it way. That at least that's my vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I also told you, be comfortable with failure.
Be comfortable
I've
with
failed
failure.
5 times. Badly.
When you say badly, what does that look like?
My biggest loss was 250 million.
Shillings, dollars?
Kenya shillings.
At one go, or like
in one go?
So you had it just there.
I set up a business, brought a plant from China, manufactured.
Hey, you entered manufacturing.
What? Never go back there. Yeah. Your manufacturing.
Was this cosmetics?
Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Cosmetic business.
Yeah.
Cosmetic business.
And I heard you talking so passionately about it.
Yes.
In one of the
I
central
loved
meetings.
it.
You were like, oh my God,
yes,
this is going to be a big business.
Yeah.
I met.
The universe told me, hold my beer. I woke up one day. All my money is sitting in inventory and with distributors. But in between here, we are struggling.
There's nothing.
What was wrong?
There was nothing wrong.
You didn't pay your fees?
Understand the business enough.
So what?
I ought to have known that this business is dominated by big distributors. We are the ones who own the customer. Manufacturers don't own the customer. One. Second,
manufacturers don't own the customer.
Manufacturers don't own
the customer. Is owned by
usually by distributors.
By distributors.
Yeah, you don't engage with the end user.
Is that why you entered the distributorship business?
That's why I went to distribution.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned.
And let me tell
Pivots.
you, let me tell you something about distribution and why that's why I'm thriving right now. It's not your product. You're managing supply chain and custom. Manufacturing, you're calling them and tell them, hey, this is my order and I
Come
want
and
to buy
pick.
this particular day. And who is in charge of demand creation? The manufacturer is the one who pays marketing and brands and activations, not you.
Oh, yeah.
My job is to get the product.
The manufacturer has to sink in marketing.
Correct.
Marketing
And
dollars.
Yes. And that manufacturer has to ensure that everybody in Kenya knows their product.
Yeah.
So they run.
And what margins are we making?
I don't have
negotiate shelf space and stuff. You're just like, it's okay.
So you had the product.
I'll carry.
I had the product and I was distributing. I did a depot system. So let these people come and buy from me. Now you're dealing with manufacturing and then retail, 2 different animals. It was a very difficult experience for me. So that's
how long did it take to fail?
Very quickly, 2 years.
Okay.
Gone, yeah. So that's one. Second one, an airline. And I was told a long time ago that
I heard about this story. You know, the funny thing about it, you were actually very public with some of this stuff.
Oh, yes.
In terms of like, by the way, guys, I'm investing in an airline.
An airline. And we launched it at Serena.
happened?
Okay, no, that for me was killed by two things. The first one was COVID, because we couldn't fly out of Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. And the aircrafts we were using were leased. We didn't own them.
Yes.
And you see the lease doesn't matter. You have to pay whether you're flying or not. Yeah. The second one was the tax regime. We were doing okay.
You had a few flights?
Many. We
Oh, really?
flew. We did good
Must
work.
have been nice owning an airline.
Yeah.
That's your ego talking.
Ego.
That's ego. That's ego. It's not
I'm
nice.
like, correct.
That's ego. There's nothing nice about owning. So that's my second biggest failure. My third biggest failure was real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, during Kibaki's time, real estate was doing well.
Yeah.
And we start talking about a bubble. It still hasn't burst even now.
But I had you saying that again. Like, is it ever going to bust?
I don't think this bubble will burst.
You think so?
Because the basic fundamental is we don't have enough housing in Kenya to take care of our people.
And the growing population that's coming, the surge.
And you're growing. So I don't think it will burst. What's going to happen is prices will actually stabilize.
Yeah.
We are overpriced.
Demand.
Yeah.
Demand and supply.
But although right now people are making 10 to 12%, it's a very good yield on real estate. My mistake was developing in the high-end areas. You know, you're developing in Karen and Runda. That's not where the money is.
In Kumiliki, we've learned that.
So
do not invest in
the higher-end areas. If I knew, I would have been at a slum lord somewhere.
That's where the money is.
Slum of millionaire.
Yes.
The demand is huge.
Yeah.
So that was a big one. On personal failure, when the insurance company in Kenya was put under statutory management, I didn't own it.
Yeah.
But the world did not know.
Okay.
So newspapers, blogs, social media were writing, Peter Nduati's company has been taken under statutory management. It wasn't mine. So that lesson, it's a lesson that I've learned a long time ago, since then, that your personal brand should not be your business brand. There was a time it worked. Michael Joseph and Safaricom were synonymous. But today, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, yeah?
So you're very clear about separating Peter Nduati from the work, the product.
The product.
Because reputation is a big thing.
Because you sneeze and your business catches a cold. And that's happened. I mentioned a couple of times here about me, when I go to banks, I deal with compliance. For the simple reason they think I'm taking that money to resolution. For the world out there,
perception,
it is my company.
Yes.
You get. And even when I sued the newspapers, the question they were being asked in court, right? In 2017, you wrote this article. There was a big article, Nairobi latest billionaire, that was on Business Daily. Then they're being asked, but how are you saying this same company that he sold belongs to? When did he buy it back? But you have to be comfortable with gossip in Nairobi. Blogs, banner. Oh my goodness. I used to wake up daily with a new one. And guess who sends you those articles? Is your friends.
Yeah.
On WhatsApp.
And then they all send the same article. Yeah.
Don't you think I read papers? Yeah. I trended in 2022. I trended 6 days in a row. But I trended 10 times in 1 month. But 6 days in a row.
What do you do? Do you lock yourself in your house?
I attempted all those things.
And then?
Kibaki died, and the story died. The day Kibaki died, they stopped talking about me. So
May he rest in peace.
You have to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable again with some of these things.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether you guys are on X, former Twitter.
Ooh.
It's a toxic place.
Yeah.
It's a tough place, that one.
The third comment is usually negative. And in Kenya, you cannot be successful without public feeling they own you. There's a lady at Royal Golf Club, I will never forget, who came to talk to me. And I'm not a golfer. I had gone for a golf tournament that at a company I'm associated with was a sponsor. That lady came and told me, is this how my insurer dresses?
Wow.
Yes.
Huh?
Is this how my insurer dresses? And she told me,
She owns you.
yeah,
Yeah.
she told me this cover ends, I'm going to cancel. I'm either going to cancel or move
Because
to
of
another
how you
company.
dress?
Yeah. I was in red shorts. So it's possible, and why I've refused to take these government jobs, it is possible for your title to define who you are.
Right.
I know that's not you.
It goes before
Like
you.
a facade too that
Yeah.
the public owns. So it happens.
Yeah.
And you again need to anticipate it. It's one of the sacrifices you have to do, that you are owned by other people. Nyashinsky's concert, the first big one he did at the Carnival.
Shin City. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I got into almost a physical fight with someone. He came and told me, "You owe me money."
Ah.
I said, "Okay, I don't know who you are." A small guy. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't even know you. What are you talking about? He told me, yeah, resolution collapsed with my money, so you owe me money. Now, a public place, you've had tea a bit. I'm wondering, okay, how do I even explain it to you? Because I don't think I owe you an explanation.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, no, I'm not. I wasn't even. In fact, I had flown in from the US that day. For the time resolution was put under central management,
Yeah.
I was in the US.
Yeah.
I made a decision to migrate in 2018.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine in the US told me, "You need to go home." Did I tell you guys, if you call me on Truecaller, it's written Peter Nduati resolution, health, not even insurance?
Wow.
Because that's how people say it. So you just have to get comfortable with it. You know that you need to leave your business aside
Yes.
and live, because we are human beings.
Yeah. Correct.
Yes.
That you have to live.
So you've talked about, I think, maybe those 4 or 5? Those are 5. I think our
You're
time
good with that?
our time is coming to an end.
But we have to do this again, because
have
I feel
to.
like
Would
You
love
have not
to.
spoken about my story.
Yeah.
off camera
Sure.
question.
Yes.
That's good.
Okay.
What do the next 10 years look? Okay.
So the next 10 years, I'm investing in diverse businesses, and I'm monetizing my time. So I've become very selfish in the things that I do. So if you notice, I've quit all public boards, all boards for businesses that are not. I'm not an investor, because I felt, yeah, you
Guys just want to have you on the
director's
board and-
time. Yes, I was chairman of a public company that is in real estate. I'm not going to name it. The hardest job of my life. I was also deputy chairman of a listed asset.
Yeah.
And tonight you're being called by people who own those things. Anyway, so the next years of my life, I am scaling my personal businesses, and I'm creating wealth, because I'm not paying school fees. Did I say that?
Yes, you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I'm alone. I'm alone now. This is my
With your
time.
dogs.
I also want to get into my passion projects, things that I can do without being paid. Music. I've taken a break. The last song we released was 2022. So in fact, right now we are in studio. Yesterday I spent time in studio. So I want to spend that time. The other thing is, my kids are in their 20s. Actually, my oldest is 30, my youngest is 21. So I need to work with them in case I go under the bus to come in. Let me tell you, they're not interested. I can tell by body language. I brought my son into the alcohol distribution business.
Like I was like, what the?
To them, to him, the way I read him, he went to Florida, he has a degree, now he's here. I think in his opinion is he should be working serious company. What is this guy in a truck selling alcohol?
But the truck educated you.
But you make more money with those businesses
dirty
that you
jobs.
know,
Yeah.
called dirty. That's where the money is. The margins in alcohol are thin.
Yes.
So you push volumes. So that's what I want to do.
Oopsie.
Also, I need to give back by paying it forward.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I'm mentoring business people. So my success will not come from my businesses, will come from the people that I'm investing in. And some of the people I'm investing, by the way, there are businesses that don't invest money, invest time.
Yeah.
You come to me, you have an idea. Usually it starts with an advisory board. Then I come in, but now I jump in with both feet. you have a capital adequacy issue. I lend you money, then we convert it to equity. That's, in fact, most of the businesses that I've been in, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm a capitalist. I need to achieve that number. That number. My mom is 84 years old and she's working. So by calculation, if I live as long as I have 30 years,
that's a long time.
That's brilliant.
There's a lot we can do. There's a lot.
That's brilliant.
So you're building a portfolio.
Yes.
And you're trying to pass on legacy. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be.
I think I just feel like just because of time that we have to end. First of all, we are so grateful.
Thank you.
And I feel that we would love to have you back again, even in terms of some of the stuff that we're doing.
That's fine.
Whether it's a masterclass and stuff like that. But this has been an absolute treat. Wow.
I have learned so much. Yeah.
I hope it helps people.
Yeah, we're all about...
Actually, that's what we want to do. It's like
knowledge transfer.
I like the way it is a conversation.
It is a conversation, absolutely. And we appreciate you for that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
That's the end of that, Peter. And to everyone, follow us on all our socials at Conversations and Plugs and at Convo and Plugs on X. Yeah, Wago, last parting shot.
This is where African business stories come to life.
Absolutely.
And I feel that many businesses are going to come to life because of the nuggets you've shared.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.